So there was some recent big changes here that happened to Honkai Star Rail that the developers made to some specific characters, and we're going to be going over that, and also some light cone changes as well, which is like the weapons for the characters as well. But yeah, it was some pretty significant changes, and let's get right into it. But before we move on, guys, I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the video, and share this around. Now, they did say that this was posted in the official Chinese community page for the Honkai Star Rail. So that's good. So I'm pretty confident to go ahead and share this information, since it's already official information that's been out there, and it's not just like something that's like unofficial or anything like that. First character here that we go into that did get a change, guys, is Brania. Now, Brania is the character that is going to be the most sought after, and the character that people are going to want to re-roll the most. Because just everyone basically is recommending her, including myself. She is an amazing unit, top to bottom. She does great, and is basically a damage enhancer for your team with a cleansing ability, and can actually give one of your allies an extra turn, which is extremely powerful. Now, if we go over the skill here that basically was nerfed, it's going to be her E skill, which costs 1 skill point. Now, this ability was extremely strong, and this is the one that she can go ahead and push one of her allies or herself and advance her to 100%, which gives them an extra turn, and then they're able to do whatever they want. But let's go ahead and get into this. So before, it dispels a debuff from a single target ally. So it's a cleanse if they have a debuff or anything. Then advances forward their actions by 100% and increases their damage by 1 turn. Oh, it also increases damage for 1 turn as well. So that's that, right? That's the old ability. Now, for the changes that they made to the ability, it's basically the same thing, except when Brania uses her E skill on herself, her having to advance herself forward 100% won't happen, meaning she can't give herself an extra turn if she uses it on herself. Now, you still will be able to use this on one of your allies, which is still going to be amazing, but they're not gonna do it. And the reason why we have a brief description here, and is I like that they have this description here. Shout out to pridewin.gg, by the way. This is where I'm getting all the information from, and what it says here is this is a pretty important change, as of one of the popular builds in the final beta for Brania relied on her using her skill on herself to gain free energy and keep near permanent uptime on her ultimate skill. You would not use this tactic in every team, so the change won't really impact the majority of players. And let's not kid ourselves, it was pretty much a broken mechanic. So what they're talking about is they had a build where Brania can go ahead and use the E on herself, and then she would go ahead and push herself, and then that would give her energy, right? So that would give her about 30 energy, and energy is what you need to get your ultimate gauge. And then she would go ahead and use a basic attack, which does a bunch of damage, because she's gonna get 100% crit rate because of one of her trace unlocks, which is like unlocking talent, and she's gonna do big damage, and doing that basic attack is gonna give her even more damage, which is gonna help her basically keep her ultimate up at all times. So your team will have the permanent crit damage buff and attack buff as well. So this was huge, and you know, like her just being able to spam that ultimate pretty easily whenever she wants, just by giving herself that extra skip and stuff. And in her passive, she already has something that kind of advances her 15% every time she uses a basic attack. So it was pretty busted. So now they basically toned that down and basically didn't give her that ability. So if she uses it on herself, she's not going to be able to advance herself forward. She still can do it with her allies. So this unit still will be recommended to pull for as of one of the 3 units that I do recommend for. But yeah, she did get her nerfed a little bit. Did it affect her? Not so much. I think she's still going to be top tier and sought after, just because she's that good, guys. So don't worry, the little nerf wasn't that bad. She'll still be fine, and she'll still be playable, and she'll still be top tier, you know. So no worries, Brania is still taken care of pretty well. And next we got Welt, guys, and this is actually one of the 3 units that I do recommend to reroll for as well, if you guys decide that you want to reroll for something that's more optimal, right? This ain't for you know, for people that I recommend for you to have fun. Like, if you want to have fun, go ahead and just go with whatever character you want, and then you'll be fine. But Welt is definitely up there for one of those characters that have an extremely strong kit that I found that was definitely super strong. Now for Welt, they actually changed one of his traces, which is basically one of his talents, right, in the trace tree or talent tree. And what it did was, before it increases Welt's ultimate damage by 25%. I said on my old showcase video of Welt that I did that he felt more like a support, but a pseudo damage dealer that'll be doing good damage alongside him doing some supporting, because he's a great turn gauge manipulator, action bar manipulator. So what they did here now is that after using your ultimate, the targets affected by it will receive more damage for a certain amount of turns. Now we don't know if Welt is going to be able to do more damage to this enemy, or if the entire team is going to be able to do more damage. We have to wait and see to exactly who's going to be able to do more damage, but I'm guessing because he's going to apply this debuff on them, the whole team will be able to just get more damage. So he's going to be, instead of being more of a pseudo damage dealer, he's going to be more focused on control and supporting now, right? It seems like the route they still want to go. I still think he'll do decent damage, but not as, obviously 25% is a decent hit on his ultimate damage. So if we can read down here, guys, it says the wording is a bit fake, but it still seems Welt gained more utility, as now his ultimate will function as a damage amplification buff for either himself or the whole team. Hopefully it's the later, because that would make him a lot more viable. Now honestly, even before this, I still thought he was completely viable, and honestly I still think he's one of the top tier units to roll for. That one of the three that I definitely do think are worth re-rolling for, whether they made this change or not. Just because turn manipulation or action bar manipulation is just that strong, and Welt is one of a kind of the units that we have in this game that can do that. So he's very precious right now, especially since nobody can really do that as of right now, to the degree and extent that Welt can do it by applying imprisonment and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a great change. I think it just makes him more supporty, and just makes your team be able to do more damage. So very nice there. And next we got Himiko, guys, and I'm actually really happy that they did this change for her. I already kind of read this ahead of time, but I'll go ahead and read it for you guys. So Himiko, she was already a good unit, but now they added something that'll help her out even more. So long story short, guys, before on her basic attacks, she was able to apply burn, right? And it was an 80% chance. And you know, burn is a damage over time debuff that she puts on enemies, and then they'll take damage over time as they take their turns and stuff. But the thing with Himiko is she had something in her traces where if the enemy had burn on them, they would go ahead and take more damage. But so this kind of made her more reliant being on more teams, on like a more pyrocentric team, because she'll have other units that can help her apply fire buff. Because let's be real, her basic attack wasn't going to be enough. One, it wasn't guaranteed because it was at 80%. Two, it was only on her basic attacks. Now they changed it to where Himiko's attacks has a chance to inflict burn on the enemy for a certain amount of turns. When inflicted with burn, enemies receive fire dot damage at the start of each turn. So all in all, now this means that she can apply burn with any of her abilities, which is huge. The main thing with Himiko, honestly, guys, is trying to get the breaks, but other than that, it's to try to take down swarms of enemies. She's a great farmer, and she's also great to deal with multiple enemies at once. And if she takes them down, let's say they have fire now, if you use your E to put fire burn on them, and you use your ultimate, her ultimate is going to get boosted even more, which is key, because if she's able to take out those enemies with her ultimate, she's going to go ahead and be able to get more energy for herself, and be able to keep spamming and be able to get more energy so she can keep spamming her ultimate. Ultimately, that's how I see how she will be played. I did use her, and she's a great farmer, like I said, guys, at the end of the day. But the burn buff is actually pretty good, just because all her abilities apply now, and now that she's not as reliant to be on a pyro team, so that's very, very good. Now let's see what they said here for her. This is actually a huge change, as while previously the burn dot could only be applied on her basic attack, now any attack will be able to do it. This means more dot and much more damage. Yeah, dot damage is always nice, but the majority is going to come from her nuking skill, from her ultimate and her E and stuff, and her little robot for her passive that does more AoE. So yeah, just her being, this is just a huge buff to her overall, just because she's gonna be able to apply that pyro so much easier, right? And we'll see what other changes they make from here on out. I don't think they're gonna do any more. So now they do claim that Clara and Japard release skills were also revealed, but we didn't spot any mechanical changes there, so nothing changed. So basically just these three right here got changed up a bit, which honestly I think it was perfectly fine and it was needed for Brania. Honestly, she was a bit overtuned, she needed to get looked at, so honestly it brought her back down to earth a little bit. She's still top tier, like I said. Well, honestly, not the biggest change, but it's honestly a huge change as well for him too. So I honestly would have liked for this change for him to be more support focused instead of kind of like a support carry, but him being more like a hyper support carrier or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's also a welcome change, and the Himiko change is also very, very welcome as well. Huge buffs all around, huge nerfs all around. Well, not huge, but decent nerf for Brania there, and we got 2 buffs, so very, very nice. And for the light cones that I mentioned earlier, guys, which is like weapons for the characters, they all just got boosted up here a bit, by a few percentage numbers more. So that's basically it. I'm not gonna sit here and read through all of that right now, but just know that most of these got buffed. There's some that did get slightly nerfed, like the Yangshing light cone, but everything else basically got buffed. So very, very nice stuff overall. So that's about it here, guys. I wonder if they're gonna make any more changes before the launch. We never know. I don't know. I do know that they did just post this now recently, where they're gonna be having a Honkai Star Rail launch show stream. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Looking forward to that. The game is gonna be coming out here next week Wednesday, guys, so about 4 more days and we will be able to play this goodness. So make sure you guys subscribe, like I said, because I will be making content on this game and I will be live streaming it as well, and we're gonna do it to the best of our abilities. So hope you guys enjoyed this content, and let me know what you guys think about the buffs and the nerfs, or who you think deserves the more buffs or nerfs. Looking forward to seeing what you guys put down there in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one. It's your boy Jada. I'm out. Peace.